Hello class, in this video what I'd like to go over is a mind tap exercise for chapter 33. I'd like to look at the case problem analysis. So it has the two parts, the identification and the facts, as well as the what if the facts were different portion. And we've done this before. So I'll just read through the problem and we'll walk through each of the fill-in-the-blank questions. Right, here I have it on the screen, and the facts are as follows. We have homeowners Jim and Lisa Chris. They hired Kevin Pappas, doing business as Outside Creations, to undertake a landscaping project. Kevin signed the parties' contract as Outside Creations rep. The Chris's made payments on the contract with checks payable to Kevin, who deposited them in his personal account. There was no Outside Creations account. Later, alleging breach of contract, the Chris's filed a suit in a state court against Pappas. The defendant contended that he could not be liable because the contract was not with him personally. He claimed that he was the agent of Forever Green Landscaping and Irrigation, Inc., which had been operating under the name Outside Creations at the time of the contract and had since filed for bankruptcy. The Chris's pointed out that the name Forever Green was not in the contract. So should Pappas be liable on this contract? All right, so in this set of facts, what you can see is you have an undisclosed principal. And what have we learned about an undisclosed principal? Who's going to be liable when there's an undisclosed principal? Well, if this undisclosed principal has authorized that their name not be used in the transaction, then the principal, the undisclosed principal, will be held liable along with the agent who participated and represented this undisclosed principal. All right, so we should see that play out, in this scenario that I just read. So let's answer the questions. Number one and two, they're pretty much factual questions. So the plaintiff in this case, what's their name? They are the Chris's, or the Chris family. Number two, the defendant in this case is going to be Kevin Pappas. Here it is, Pappas. All right, let's go on and take a look at number three. All right, now in the contract, Pappas signed as an agent of whom? All right, if we were to go back up and look at the facts, you would see that he is an agent for Outside Creations. He signed it as an Outside Creations rep. Okay. Number four, Outside Creations would be is it undisclosed principal, partially disclosed principal, disclosed principal, or not a principal in the contract? Well, in this case, the way the contract was written, Outside Creations is a disclosed principal. All right. This goes back to, let me just scroll back up. It goes back to the way Kevin signed this. He signed it as Outside Creations rep. So indicating he's the agent for Outside Creations. All right, going to number five. This type of principal is or is not liable to a third party for contracts made by its agents. All right, we have here a disclosed principal. This disclosed principal is liable. Number six, in this situation, Outside Creations is or is not liable. They're just reiterating what we just talked about in number five. All right, so Outside Creations is going to be liable. All right, number seven, at trial, Pappas claimed that he was an agent for another entity. All right, was that entity the Chris family? Is he an agent for Pappas himself? That makes no sense. All right. Is he an agent for Outside Creations? Is that what he claimed when it went to trial? No, he actually claimed he's the agent for this Forever Green. He brought this name into the litigation. All right. Now, at number 8, at trial, Pappas claimed that Outside Creations was just another name for which entity? Again, for Forever Green. All right, let's go on to number 9. All right, no, not 9. Forever Green was or was not mentioned in the contract. Their name is not in the contract. Well, was not mentioned in the contract, and they would be then what type of a principal? They're not named. It's going to be an undisclosed principal. Okay. Number 10. This type of principal is or is not bound to perform the contract. Undisclosed principal, if that's the way they wanted to be identified, not disclosed, they will still be bound. Oh, wait, sorry, I hit the wrong thing. They will still be bound. They're bound to the contract. All right, number 11. Forever Green can or can they not perform on the contract because it is now bankrupt. That's the last part of it over here. They're arguing, Forever Green, or Kevin is arguing on behalf of Forever Green, that it cannot perform on the contract because it is bankrupt. And we'll be learning about bankruptcy in the future. All right, companies that go through bankruptcy, they discharge their liabilities, etc. All right, going on. Number 12. Once a disclosed, a partially disclosed, or an undisclosed principal identity is revealed, the third party generally can or cannot hold either the principal or the agent liable on the contract. All right, so what did we learn about an undisclosed principal? That's the word that goes in here. Once we know about an undisclosed principal, the third party then generally can hold either the principal or the agent liable on the contract. And then 13, a court likely is going to or will find or will not find for the Chris family on the breach of contract claim here. They will find for the Chris family. We have an undisclosed principal, and that principal for Evergreen is going to be liable. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at the what if section. I need to go out and pull it up here. And in the what if the facts were different section, the facts will be changed a bit. Let me read that for you. And there's only a few questions here. I think there's a total of 5. Yeah, I can't get them all on the screen though, so sorry class about that. All right, here's the paragraph though. We're adding to the facts. Assume that the Chris family looked for landscapers in the phone book and they found Forever Green. When they called the number, Pappas answered with the name Outside Creations, and he told the Chris family that Outside Creations was another business name for Forever Green. Pappas still signed the contract as Outside Creations rep and still had the check made out to him personally. All right. Now, under these facts, the landscaper in the contract it's still Outside Creations because that's the name on the contract, right? Number 2, because of the phone conversation between Pappas and the Chris family, Forever Green is now what type of a principal? Is it a disclosed principal, partially disclosed principal, or undisclosed principal? Well, because Forever Green's name has been used in the phone book. When they inquired about it, Kevin explained to the Chris family. Now we have a disclosed principal. All right. Now, number 3, because of this, Forever Green is going to be liable on the contract. All right, it's a little more clear here because there's been some discussion of the principal. All right, going on to number 4, and because of the type of agency, Pappas is not going to be liable on the contract because it's much more clear that he's an agent for this disclosed principal. All right, and then number 5, under these facts, what should the court do with Pappas in the lawsuit? It should dismiss Pappas from the suit. All right. So as we have seen with other chapters, the authors of the text have changed the facts sufficiently to give you some contrast in this second part, the what if part, some contrast with the original problem. Hope that helps you to distinguish how to handle a disclosed principal versus an undisclosed principal when you look at a scenario So let me know if there's a question. Either message me or come and see me during office hours. All right, I'm going to close out now.